In addition to the trademark cars, the Lego Adventurers themes had a lot of air vehicles, and when he's not getting his butt kicked in European football with his clones, the Adventurers' resident pilot is Harry Kane. In a Swedish print ad for the Adventurers Egypt theme, Harry Kane was named Lars Looping, depicted with the face of Basil the Batlord, and characterized as doing anything for money. I read that straight out of the BrickoPediaFandom.com page. It was just hilariously weird, and I didn't want to change it or leave it out. I also learned that there was another character that stole Harry Kane's name who is worth pointing out because he is in the Hidden Side app as a boss for the set that featured Wow, a biplane. Okay, enough ranting and raving! Here's my objectively correct opinionated list of all 18 of the Adventurers' air vehicles. Flying under the radar of what is a good set, we have a 7-way tie. These are literally all the worst. It's like Design Team B, remember them, just Googled, what is airplane, one time at the beginning of the project, and then slowly forgot what it was as time and designs went on. Okay, let's dive into each of these atrocities individually. Say hello to my little copter. Maybe if there was a worse set between the first 7, it would be this one. It has no sides. It has no windshield. It has a ketchup dispenser for a control stick. Also, the propeller is just about touching Dr. Lightning's hat if he's sitting down. I think this vehicle might have actually been an elaborate ploy to knock off the Doctor. G'day, Doctor. Why don't you just take your micro-heli down to Dino Island? We'll meet you there.
You know, Johnny, I'm not sure if that machine is entirely safe.
Oh, don't worry, Doc. You're an adventurer, aren't you?
Well, yes. Yes, I am.
Next, we have Plane of Hurricane. Not sure what's going on with the name there because it's almost Harry's name, but clearly not. Now, when I said the designers slowly forgot what a plane was, I was wrong. They immediately forgot what a plane was. And if this was Harry's signature plane, wow. Without even a ketchup dispenser to steer with, they gave him a tiny windscreen to clutch with his claw hands as he dive bombs to his death, cursing at the designer who put all the weight of the engine and the rider in front of the minimal wings, with nothing to counterbalance except for a half-attached backwards flag. Is it a rudder? I don't think so, it can't turn. Is it a tail fin? Possibly, but it's only half the height of the pilot, so it won't do much good. Dropping in next, we have Mike's Dino Hunter. The only dinos he hunts from that thing better still be in egg form because he's going to spend most of his time trying to make this thing move. It looks like a beast machine that got stuck halfway through its transformation from goose to, robot goose. I don't even think this was originally intended to be a plane. It looks closer to an airboat, but the picture of it definitely has it flying through the air. There wasn't even an instruction manual for this travesty of a build. They knew, Lego knew how bad it was and that no one would ever want to build this set. People bought it for Mike, Mike's binocs, and Mike's gun. That's why they had him holding them up in the picture so enthusiastically instead of holding any kind of flight stick. Sorry this had to be your first appearance, Mike. You seem like a nice kid, but I hate this set. Falling in beside Mike is Cunningham's Dino Finder. Cunningham knows he won't be hunting anything in this bucket. Another new figure, another set with no instructions. And I really don't know Lego's aversion to flight controls, but they evidently still haven't figured out how planes are operated. The blue wheels are pretty cool, and props to Lego for making a minifigure that looks so fat. Next, we have the return of Harry Kane. Weight distribution is much better this time. Still no flight stick, but we expect that by now. Better put those goggles down, Harry, because that windscreen isn't stopping diddly squat. Moving on as quickly as possible, we have Johnny Thunder's plane. They gave these little abominations such definitive names. Johnny and Harry must have been tweaking hard to have chosen their title planes to be these micro machines, and not one of the others further down the list. On the bright side, someone must have tipped off Design Team B about flight controls, so they threw in a steering wheel. That's better? But still, not even the almost well-drawn comics could save this set. Wow, I hear you say. We're finally on to bigger planes. Bigger? Yes. Better? Nope. This one is especially bad because it's packaged with an expensive set. When I put the car from this set together for the previous list, I ended up being pleasantly surprised by some cool features. That is not the case for the plane. Where do I even start? I'll give it one positive point. It's very satisfying that the seats fit perfectly back into the slope pieces behind them. But given the rest of the design, I think that was more of a happy accident, and this awful design should have been saved for time cruisers. Now, let's start from the back and work our way up. I hate the tail. They were probably trying to think out of the box with the chair pieces and plates, but it just doesn't work. The tail of an airplane should be sleek and aerodynamic, not chairs. Then we have the body. Not much to say about it because there's not much to it. It's just boring. Then we have the cockpit/engines. Oh boy. The cockpits are inside the two engines. Ipso facto, there are two cockpits, separately, inside the engines. As far as flight controls, we have two steering wheels this time, one in each engine. I suppose one is for pitch and one is for yaw, so good job, I guess. I couldn't imagine trying to coordinate flight with someone in that way, but Pacific Rim exists, so obviously it's possible. Then we have the function. Oh yeah, they packed a function into this nightmare. It's a net, folded up like a bed sheet, and squeezed under this panel waiting to be dropped onto an unsuspecting dinosaur. Yikes. Now we have number 10. Yes, we are past the abysmally impressive 7-way tie. This is the Red Eagle. First off, awesome name. A lot of names in the rest of these are actually pretty legit. Like, you know without even seeing the set that something called Red Eagle will be cool. This one is a little on the small side, but the design works. If you take Johnny and the windscreen out, it looks like a small-scale plane. As it is now, it's similar to the microfighters in the Star Wars line. A clear upgrade from the previous entries. Next, we have a research glider with everyone's favorite guy named Mike, Mike. As Mike was careening to certain doom on his Dino Hunter, he must have thought, I wonder if this is what it was supposed to do. And then he made this. It's almost the same set, but with glider wings. We still haven't broken away from the steering wheels, but they are an upgrade to nothing. 8 is Pontoon Plane, and I must say the rest of the entries are all excellent. It was very hard to rank them since they're all top-notch. I could be lazy and say it's an 8-way tie for first place, but after much deliberation and some help from another Lego connoisseur,
Whoa!
I've managed to separate them into singular entries. This was the only plane from the Amazon Ruins subtheme, and between the desaturated earth tone colors and the fact that it was a pontoon plane, really helps sell the atmosphere of a dark, dank, dangerous jungle. Also, let's have a big round of applause for the first actual flight control stick! Raining down death from above at number 7 is Bi-Wing Baron, the first of a slew of 1930s style biplanes with an adventurer's tweak. They were all heavily armed. Baron saw these innocent planes and thought, well, how about we just put a gun on this bad boy? Or how about 4 and off-roading tires and flaming death exhaust? Number 6, we have the Baron's new and approved biplane. A more modest propeller motor compartment and more realistically small wheels, but bigger everything else. A larger propeller, an extended wingspan, even a passenger seat, or in the Baron's case, maybe a prisoner's seat. All of which leave many possibilities open for this upgrade from the last entry. It only has 2 guns this time, but the slanted way they're mounted shows that they're much more gangster. Okay, this one almost should be a tie with the last one. It's called Thunderblazer, awesome name, and it is literally a color swap from the Baron's version. Every single piece is the same. I don't even mind though, it's a cool design and it shows that Johnny and the Baron have similar taste in planes just like they're similar taste in cars. I put this one a tick above the Baron's just because I think the gray, brown, red color scheme is slightly more interesting than the gray, black, yellow. Sorry to all the Blacktron fans out there. Okay, as I said, the last 8 are hard to rank, and these last 4 are really hard to rank. I put Aero Nomad, awesome name, at number 4. It's an improved version of the balloon from Egypt. The combination of the black rigging and the black ladders make it look much more like a lightweight balloon than the boxy, stiff-looking Egypt version. Plus, the basket looks more like a basket and less like fortress walls like the Egypt one. Well, if it's so much better than the Egypt one, why didn't you rank it lower? I hear you ask. I did have the Egypt balloon at number 8, but then I removed it from the list entirely because I realized it was more appropriate for a non-motorized vehicle list. And this one has a motor, so it can't get away from you, unlike other balloons in pop culture.
I can't come back! I don't know how it works!
So, yes, an engine. And a grapple hook, just in case. Here's one that sets itself apart, Expedition Balloon. It's one of the largest sets on this list. The balloon itself doubles as a storage case for the pieces. Beneath the balloon are all sorts of treasures. Cool wheels, multiple hot roddy engines, a microscope, an anchor, because we're making this up as we go, and some really unique window pieces. Oh, and don't forget the tiny little windshield. But the fun doesn't stop there. This little Hindenburg was not only used as a playset and storage for said playset, it was also featured in both LEGO Racers games, and quite prominently in the second, where it was used as a means for normies to get to Dino Island, providing enough golden bricks had been collected, of course. Presenting us once again with the question, who needs Harry Kane? Next, we have Pippin Reeds' only appearance on the list in her Island Hopper. Contrary to what the name would suggest, this thing is massive. The tail wings are literally as big as the other plane's actual wings. It's the only plane on this list with an interior, and it still has room for double flight sticks and a ton of storage. I really like this design. It's the kind that's so good you feel like you've seen a plane like this in real life. They got all the details just right. It looks heavy, it looks like it's seen things. Plus the wings fold up. I don't know if pontoon plane wings are supposed to do that. I'm guessing no, but I'm no pilot. This one also had a little cameo in Soccer Mania. Oh, hey, look at that. The wings are folded up when it's parked and on grass. And the Egypt sub-theme takes first place once again. This is the 5th biplane, but this small design has a particularly sizable amount of awesomeness crammed into it. A few stickers give this plane a ton of personality. Between the shark face and rivets on the engine doors and the bullet damage, shout out to the plane it drew inspiration from, and the shoddy repair patchwork. Speaking of the engine, I don't quite know what a plane engine looks like, but I would assume it's exactly like this. The white and tan color scheme is great, but the greatness doesn't stop there. It's got a camera mounted on top, full flight controls, dual guns, iron sights, and oh yeah, a bomb. I know it's already got the guns and the sights, but I think we all remember the car that came in this set for the plane to battle. Don't worry, Harry, just drop a freaking bomb on it and fly off into the sunset.
Stop making it so violent. That's not what Lego is about.
There's a reason that dynamite piece is decorating the outside of the box. The plane was meant to be tipped forward for the bomb to fall out. No matter how you try to spin it, these characters were out for blood, and they came packing some serious heat. In addition to the bomb, there were still 6 guns in this set, and only 5 minifigures, and one was a skeleton! Adventurers lived up to their name like none other. Adventurers featured good guys and bad guys who were both trying to kill each other off before the other got to the ruby first. Anyway, an honorable mention would have to go to the green biplane featured in the early 2000s online Adventurers game. It makes an appearance when the crew is traveling to the next location, though rather than following the dotted lines, it seems to be going rogue and heading off into outer space. So in conclusion, I think the main takeaway is, why do the Adventurers have a designated pilot when any of them can throw on an aviator cap and proficiently fly a plane, helicopter, balloon, or whatever? Lego is full of mysteries. Why did licensed characters suddenly change from yellow skin to flesh tone? Why did they take the word men out of the new Forest Men set? Why did they cancel an announced set a couple years ago? The world may never know. But one thing we can be sure of is that although there are some weak points, Adventurers may have been one of the best, most well-rounded themes, giving us massive buildings for the time, really well-designed vehicles, including but not limited to cars, boats, and planes, super cool figures, lots of animals, and a slew of new pieces, some of which are still commonly used today. Ruby/Scorpion. In closing, I'll leave with this question. Does Johnny Thunder have hair under his hat? Oh, wait. Did I start recording? Wow, I don't think I did. Oh, I did.